let's do this. 1, 2, 3, wow! All right, so thanks for joining us, Goya. First of all, that name. I'm sure everybody wants to remind you that you have the name of an awesome Latin food company that I enjoyed growing up.
Yes.
Do you eat Goya free advertising?
Yes.
Free advertising.
It's harder to find those products in LA, but back east, you find them everywhere.
Where are you from? Because I'm from Miami.
I'm from Connecticut.
Oh, okay, cool. New Haven?
Stanford, Bridgeport area.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tell us about Get Shorty, man. It's getting a lot of good reviews. A lot of people are liking it.
I mean, it's just one of those shows where you can't tell if it's a drama, if it's a comedy, if it's everything in between. It's about this man who works for my aunt and part of this small-scale crime cartel out of Nevada. He also wants to change his life and really loves the film industry. So he's trying to break away from it, trying to make this movie, but the trouble follows him, and I'm part of that trouble.
What do you mean? Tell us more about your character.
Trouble follows him, or you follow the trouble? Because that's different.
Yeah, I make
Trouble
the trouble.
follows me too.
Yeah.
But how did you get into character? Like, are you a bad boy?
Yeah, I would say that. Actually, a huge part of my process is doing animal work. So whenever I study a character, I try to see what animal I get from that character, and then I'll research the animal.
Well, what animal did you get from this character on Get Shorty?
Spotted hyena.
Why?
Wow.
Well,
they're deceiving hyenas, no?
Well, in a sense, I mean, they're quite vicious. Especially the particular reason why I chose it is because it's a matriarchal structure. So even the highest ranking male is below the lowest ranking female.
Well, they're bigger. Female hyenas are bigger than male hyenas.
That as well, and I think for this particular role, it just suited because the woman that plays my aunt, Lydia Porto, she's. It's nice to have that in my body, no matter how crazy I think I am, badass I think I am around her, it doesn't matter, so it's to have that, and the interesting thing about doing animal work is that there's no room, everything is impulse. Animals don't have time to think.
I love this. Is this a special technique you studied? Did you develop it?
Yeah, I studied
animal technique, it's called, or?
It's animal work. It's part, I studied method acting in grad school.
So this is method acting, because I'm thinking maybe this is from an ayahuasca ceremony, a spiritual thing,
Well, I mean, not this particular one, but I'm a fan of ayahuasca.
Ooh, all right. Before I go on a tangent.
I see the DNA.
I see the DNA was a tree. Please join us on the thing, because he mentioned something off camera that I want to maybe bring you into. You did slam poetry back in the day.
I did.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that, and can you throw down a verse?
Yeah, maybe I will throw down a verse. I mean, it's really poetry catered for performance. So it's not necessarily to be read, even though you could read it off, but it's to give to others. So
you got something for us?
Como declamación or something?
Like a gift.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I could do a few lines from a piece that I have.
Go for it.
It's, I fight for my mother, for that smile in her eyes that says, I love you, you knucklehead. I fight for my family and for the love that we write in blood, sweat, cries, and laughter as we find the courage to fully live another day together. I fight to live better, to give better hugs, to make better love with my wife. I fight like making love with my wife is a journey worthy of my pressed lips touching on the bosom of her fire. I fight like I'm on fire. A star blazing where old words say, yet kind isn't allowed to shine here. I felt like this moment right here is the only way that I can shine. Anyway, there's a lot more, but...
Dude!
Oh my God.
Wow! Clarice! That is super touching. I love it.
Thank you.
So you teach this?
Okay.
I used to teach.
Okay.
I want to do something. I want to do something with him because I think he just brought up something that I feel that he can explain, and it's part of today's culture crusade. Not one.
Cultural crusade.
Culture crusade. You know what I respect about you? You're a very masculine guy in your disposition, but you're talking about connecting with the matriarchy, and I can see that you're close to your mom. So one of the things that's we talk about in culture today is toxic masculinity. What do you think that is, and how do you balance that with positive masculinity? And I think that maybe you kind of are someone that can speak to that.
Well, I personally, you know, a lot of the conditioning, especially I could just speak from being Latino and raised in a Latino household, is that there's this interesting dynamic where men are to play certain roles, women are to play certain roles. Even in our religious conditioning, you know, God is seen as a male figure. And it wasn't until I started acknowledging the fact that women are divine as well, and what part of me, you know, I was raised by my mom. You know, my dad wasn't around. So I had to take that in. What was that like for me? My mother is divine, and I refused to engage in this idea as an older man where, like, I'm not allowed to acknowledge that. You know, so if I can see that on a spiritual level, we are equal, then it's gonna manifest physically as well.